The Rock, built by pressure. Before he was The Rock, before Hollywood, before championships, before the raised eyebrow, he was just Don, a kid moving from city to city, a teenager filled with anger, a young man terrified of becoming a failure. That is not just a story of fame. That is a story of pressure, inherited, internal, and transformed. Part 1. A legacy he didn't choose. Dwayne Johnson was born on May 2nd, 1972, into a wrestling family. His father, Rocky Johnson, was a professional wrestler. His grandfather, Peter Mavier, was also a wrestling icon. The ring was not just entertainment in his household, it was heritage. But legacy is heavy. Wrestling in the 1970s and 80s was unstable. Paychecks were inconsistent. Injuries were constant. Fame did not always equal security. Dwayne's childhood was marked by frequent moves: Hawaii, Pennsylvania, New Zealand, back again, different school, different friends, no stability. At times, the family struggled financially. There were eviction notices. There were moments when the electricity was cut, moments when pride was shallowed. He watched his parents fight stress quietly, and inside him, something began forming, a promise. He would never let his family live like that again. But as a teenager, he didn't look like a future savior. He got into trouble, fights, arrest, anger issue. He felt out of place, too big, too intense, too restless. Sports became his outlet. Football gave him structure, discipline, direction. Eventually, he earned a full scholarship to the University of Miami, one of the most prestigious college football programs in the United States. For the first time, it felt like a clear path. The NFL, success, stability, redemption. But life rarely follows the cleanest script. Part 2. Dream broken. After college, Dwayne went undrafted in the NFL. He signed briefly with the Calgary Stampeders in the Canadian Football League. 2 months later, he was cut. Just like that, the dream collapsed. He was 23 years old, broke, injured, living with $7 in his pocket. $7. No contract, no direction, no identity. For a young man who had promised to lift his family out of struggle, it felt like humiliation. And yet, sometimes, rock bottom is where reinvention begins. With football gone, He turned reluctantly toward one path he had once resisted: professional wrestling. He didn't want people to think he was only succeeding because of his father. He wanted his own name. But now, pride had to step aside. He trained, learned the craft, studied psychology of the crowd, learned timing, storytelling, presence. In 1996, he debuted in WWE as Rocky Maivia, combining his father and his grandfather's name. He smiled too much, played the good guy, tried to be likable. The audience rejected him. They chanted, "Rocky sucks." For many, that would have been the end. But rejection is something powerful. It forced evolution. Part 3. Becoming the Rock. Instead of fighting the crowd, he leaned into their hate. He became arrogant, charismatic, electrifying. He dropped the polite smile and raised one eyebrow. He spoke with rhythm, confidence, humor sharp as a blade. And Rocky Maivia disappeared. In his place stood The Rock. The late 1990s became the attitude era of wrestling. Bold, controversial, explosive. The Rock rose alongside icons like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Their rivalry became legendary. He wasn't just winning matches. He was commanding arenas. Catchphrases echoed worldwide. "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" became cultural currency. But beneath the charisma was discipline. While others partied, he trained. While others relied on popularity, he refined performance. He understood something early: fame fade, work ethic doesn't. Multiple-time WWE champion, headline events, global recognition. He had conquered the ring, but he wanted more. Part 4. Hollywood rejection. Transitioning from wrestling to acting is notoriously difficult. Hollywood didn't take wrestlers seriously. He landed small roles. Then a breakthrough in The Scorpion King. Suddenly, he was one of the highest paid actors for the first leading role. But the early 2000s were inconsistent. Some films underperformed. Critics dismissed him as muscle without depth. Again, doubt appeared. So, once again, he adapted. He reduced the exaggerated wrestling persona, focused on acting training, chose diverse roles, action, comedy, family films. He learned branding before social media fully exploded. When platform rose, he mastered them. Authentic, motivational, transparent. Then came Fast Five. His entrance into the Fast and Furious franchise reignited momentum. The intensity, the presence, the physical dominance, this time refined with subtlety. From there, the climb accelerated. Blockbusters, global box office dominance, entrepreneurial ventures, tequila brand, production company, fitness empire. He became more than an actor. He became a brand. Yet, even at the top, he spoke openly about struggles, including battles with depression in his 20s. Because strength, he learned, is not the absence of vulnerability, it is surviving it. Part 5. Legacy of Pressure. Today, Dwayne Johnson is one of the highest paid actors in the world. But success did not erase the memory of $7 in his pocket. He kept the number close, a reminder, a symbol. The kid who moved constantly, the teenager who fought, the athlete who was cut, the wrestler who was booed, the actor who was doubted. Each failure carved discipline deeper into him. Was it talent that made the rock? Partly. But more than talent, it was pressure. The pressure to provide. The pressure to carry a family legacy. The pressure to never go back to instability. He turned that pressure into fuel. And perhaps that is the real story. Not just how Dwayne Johnson became famous, but how he transformed insecurity into confidence, rejection into reinvention, and $7 into an empire. Because legends are not built